This is where we need the power positive thinking, chat. We absolutely need it. Because again, this quest is not particularly strong, but it is full of nasty shit archive. Key are going to be only inherently and will continually spam awful chain attack. One of the reasons the chain attack was so deeply unpopular is that Shadowkai also released as a player character.
Fresh corpses line the walls, all of them Wheloon prisoners.
And at the same time as this pack, except that the Shadar
Karleth has gone too far,
says the Netherese wizard.
He's become unpredictable even for a Shadar Kai. We cannot let his excesses endanger our mission. Your kind will never understand.
Responds the Shadar Kai.
The Shadow Curse is strong with Karleth. He does this because he must. Did you hear that?
Shadowkai was the Shadowkai character does in fact have a chain attack. However, the chain attack was hilariously weak. To the point of uselessness, whereas the ones these guys were spamming would wipe out an entire party. So obviously people were a little miffed about that because the Shadar Kai as a race wasn't really offering all that much. It's basically a modified human that doesn't get a bonus feat, and it's super great. So
searching the clutter reveals nothing of interest.
Say it was just kind of left the bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Like say this pack didn't do so well when it released, and part of it was that it was incomplete, which did not help.
Searching the clutter reveals nothing of interest.
They have since, of course, updated the Shadar Kai, so now that it has better abilities and a better chain attack, which is, of course, obviously, also cancel out and continue to load as the player characters have all kinds of bugs. So
searching the clutter reveals nothing of interest.
it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be in the last place we look. Alright, here we go. Here we go, chat.
You discover a key while searching the desk.
That was what we needed. And again, you might be watching and thinking, hey, it doesn't look all that bad. You're gunning these guys. Wretched mess with the final boss.
Down below, the Shadar Kai commander addresses a terrified prisoner.
I really did like you, you know. It pains me to think how you'll be torn apart.
Aloysius,
You've saved the poor captive from being mauled by the Howler.
does White Dot.
Carlet calls to you from behind the safety of a grate.
You must be the one who killed my pet. Now, perhaps, you think you can kill more? Good. It will make me feel more alive.
Magic dagger of keen edge, sure. Goes this scan out? No, thank you. I don't think there's any other breakables here. Range character also means that I'm not taking full damage. I'm actually physically striking the howlers, which gets me the quills, and then it gives me a bleed effect all the time, which is really, really aggravating. You can't pull any levers or do anything while that's happening. Seems to last bloody forever. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's bad chat. See, I just ran into something. We immediately beeline over here to open up the shrine.
You thought you saw one of the gargoyles move.
Over here there's a locked door. But we don't take no for an answer around here, so I'll pop that open, and inside we will find ourselves did sell all my keys on the auction house last night. I made a crap ton of money, but I found out. And this is what you can get in here. You can get the First Blood Bastard Sword. This was pretty popular back in the day. Double Strike Bloodletter Keen. And it's a pretty neat cosmetic, if nothing else. And you can also get the Fell Shiv, which is a dagger. And again, these items are not particularly great, but at the time they were too. For example, there's a repeating crossbow that drops in here called Trapsmith's Crossbow, and it's actually not magical, not even a little bit. But at the time, the original source thing, there were no alchemists, and the artificer was still a relatively new thing, and it didn't really matter because enhancements didn't stack. So if you were summoning +5 crossbow bolts all the time, it didn't matter whether or not your weapon was magical, because the bolts themselves were. So you could give an unmagical weapon, and if you did that, then it freed up one of the potential slots on the weapon to have other effects. So at the time when it released, it was actually kind of an interesting thing, and it's sort of like a lot of these things had bizarre stats because of the way the limitation on. So they would, a level 27 item would only have like a +3 enhancement, and some of them would have like the heroic ones would have a +1 enhancement. You're like, wow, that's kind of crappy, but it didn't matter at that time in the game. The enhancement bonus was actually not as important as the effects. So it was more important to get better effects on it than it was for it to have an enhancement bonus. But then, again, a lot of the mechanics of the game changed. That enhancement bonus became crucial because it became massive. There was very few classes could generate enough of an attack bonus to actually hit legendary mobs. Missing was very, very common, and it still can be if you're not built properly. So then enhancement bonuses suddenly became very valuable. So I am actually going to rest because I might need every single one of my action boosts to get through this boss. He is super tanky, does a ton of damage, and there's going to be trash all over the place that I'm going to have to sweep. So I need all my boosts. Alright, we'll start with that. Turn the Shadow Form first, and then we go through. Yes. Should I pick that up? Alright, there we go. And I'm going to summon 2 more stacks of bolts.
The door is locked. One of the Shadar Kai who guard this area must have the key.
Again, I wouldn't bother with. Yeah, but it did give me ransack, so if I manage to pull through here. So before I get any closer, this is the Huntmaster. He is going to be a nightmare. And these cages, they look empty, but they're actually flooded.
Karleth stands before another prisoner trapped in a cage,
You were my favorite.
says the Shadar Kai.
I can't bear to think of what will happen to you. My despair will be exquisite.
So if you pull these levers in a particular order, it brings down the gate and you can free the prisoner before he gets tortured to death. Truthfully, I have not managed to do that, and I forget the order. I haven't done it in so long. Like I've seen it done, but I don't remember what the order is, or if you have to do it before you kill him, or how it works. But suffice to say, the prisoner usually doesn't make it out of here alive, and for the effort, as I recall, to get it done, it's not worth the experience. So anyway, these gates are going to flood. They're going to be full of howlers, and you will get like 50 of the Howler debuffs on your bar, so you've got to be pretty careful. And then he starts chasing you around and spamming his chain over and over and over and over again, and it's just a nightmare. So wish me luck, chat. I'm going in. You again. You killed my pet and my man. And suppose I did. Sorry. Displacement? I feel my fear building inside me, a tiny figure becoming a raging inferno. Good, good. Your shadow curse ever pulls at my soul, yet I refuse to submit. I refuse to fade into the darkness. I've tried to spark the flame with caged prey, but this would be so much more intoxicating. Come, make my heart burn with hatred. Make me feel alive. You're clearly
Karleth
insane.
moves to attack, his face a twisted mixture of rage and joy. Karleth lashes out with his spiked chain, tripping a lever. He's killing the prisoner.
Make it stop!
Screams the captive.
Make it stop!
Screams the captive. The captive falls to the ground, dead due to Karleth's cruelty.
While this is not particularly glamorous, it is effective.
Cruel whims on Wheloon's inhabitants. His hunt for thrills has ended.
Okay. So, yeah. I don't even know if these function now. Sorry, buddy. And here's the Fell Shiv. So you can see at level 27 a plus 4 enhancement's pretty low, but it is Greater Vorpal and Humanoid Bane, which was a big deal. It is a thing that even now people will run 2 of these simply because Greater Vorpal and Humanoid Bane with a slot are fantastic, and so it's worth it, because anything that, you know, if you're going to kill anything that has less than 2,000 hit points, that is a very good time. So I might still be able to get a shard or 2 for those off the auction house. And after accomplishing